industrial growth a solution to... INEC releases guidelines for the conduct of political rallies. And Muslim cleric advises Nigerians to put their population to good use for the benefit of all.
A very good evening to you, and this is the news at 7 on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. I am Aisha Uba Ali. President Muhammadu Buhari says industrialization and diversification of African economy are not only critical towards unlocking their enormous potentials for growth and prosperity, but also the solution to the socio-economic challenges bedeviling the continent. Addressing African leaders at an extraordinary summit in Niamey, Niger Republic, the president made a strong case for collaboration that will ultimately, I beg your pardon, lead to full industrialization by the year 2030. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has the details.
The extraordinary session of the African Union is convened towards addressing issues of industrialization and economic diversification based on the need to realize the goals set out in the AU Agenda 2063 and the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. This is aimed at launching the African continent on the path to poverty reduction, food security, and technological advancement.
Times have changed, and the economic unity of our continent is more important than ever. We have not. The future is in our hands.
We look forward to greater partnerships as we jointly push ahead with the Pan-African trade and industrialization agenda.
Let us diversify our economies. Let us close the door of poverty, and let us open the highways for wealth through industrialization.
The Liver Agreement now being implemented will give impetus to the continent's quest for an industrial revolution. It can only be achieved if possibilities of collaboration in pooling resources on a continental level are explored towards addressing the vexing problem of energy generation and distribution. The president was emphatic that Africa cannot industrialize if the problem of generating cheap and clean energy is not solved. He also made a case for the education system and academic curricula be rejigged to gravitate towards science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. This, he believes, is the short way to produce the next generation of managers for the envisaged industrial complex that will not be dependent on expatriates. The continent, he also to highlight his administration's efforts at economic diversification as well as exploring bilateral, multilateral, and other opportunities for the creation of Center of Excellence for Vaccine Manufacturing and Distribution in Nigeria. The summit is expected to adopt various draft protocols, including that of investment, and also launch additional operational tools for the African Continental Free Trade Area. From Niamey, the Republic of Niger, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And to religion, Nigeria's rising population should not be seen as a challenge, but rather an advantage towards harnessing its potentials. This formed the thrust of today's Jamaat sermon by Imam Kabir Adam at the National Mosque, Abuja. Hakimat Aliyu has the report.
With quotations from the Holy Quran, Imam Kabir Adam reminded Muslims that Adam and Eve were the first of mankind, and Allah has promised that they will continue to multiply. Hence, our population should be put to good use for the benefit of all.
Important here is this. The khutbah call on every Nigerian to work hard, not to become lazy. We are blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with so many resources. So Nigerians should just work hard, and inshallah, the poverty, the even crisis will become a history.
The National Mosque also played host to members of staff of the Nigerian Agency for the Control of AIDS for special prayers as part of activities in commemoration of World AIDS Day.
Every year, December 1 is the World AIDS Day, and this day is set aside for us to take a stock and look at what we have achieved in controlling AIDS globally, and what are the challenges, and how do we address the challenges in the years ahead. That is exactly what we have done, but part of it is to pray for the repose soul of those that have departed and those that are suffering with the disease.
The congregation prayed for the leaders of the nation, for continued peace, and for the souls of the departed. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, INEC has released guidelines for the conduct of political rallies, processions and campaigns, as well as finances and election expenses of political parties, candidates and aspirants. The 12-point guidelines on the conduct of political rallies and campaigns deals with issues of procedures, clash of dates, venue and time of campaigns. The 9-point guideline on finance and election expenses of political parties reminds stakeholders on the procedures and limit of individual and group donations, as well as submission of revenues and expenditure after the election. Meanwhile, INEC has approved the reappointment of the Secretary of the Commission, Mrs. Rose Anthony, for a second and final term of 4 years with effect from 7th December 2022. Tears flowed freely when commercial motorcyclists watched helplessly as bulldozers of the Federal Capital Territory crushed to rumbles over 300 of their bikes, impounded for violating traffic regulations. Asabe Williams reports that the exercise is an ongoing effort to enforce the law and curb criminality.
While the FCTA has not pronounced a total ban on commercial motorcycle operation, there are districts where they are not allowed to operate. Notwithstanding the restrictions, the defiant bike owners and operators have remained adamant in flaunting the partial ban.
We leave no stone unturned, or any turn on stone in the Federal Capital City. We will comb out all the commercial motorcycles, and then we are going to do instant crushing.
This is the second phase, and we'll continue with the exercise until we eradicate all motorcycles within the FCT. Now, while we are doing this, those who violated the route, the restricted place, that is, but the ones that are abiding by where they have been permitted to ply their motorcycle, nobody will prevent them. But exceeding, trespassing into the place where it has been restricted for them to apply a motorcycle, that one must be stopped.
Mandate Secretary, FCTA Transport Secretariat Abdullahi Adamu Kandido noted that if the commercial motorcyclists continue to defy all government entreaties to them by allowing them operate within designated routes, they will continue to suffer losses. Kandido also disclosed that the Secretariat will never succumb to pressure from any quarters to allow any form of illegality in the nation's capital.
FCT administration will never rest on its oars until we get the proper things that we expect government to achieve, we actually achieve it. So long as Okada riders will not respect the simple law governing their business, then if any one of them comes to where we're not supposed to have been operate, he is actually going to have his motorcycle seized, impounded and crushed immediately.
Because this menace cannot continue, it cannot go on. We have gotten complaints daily on the menace of Okada riders across the city. They have been banned since 2006, and somehow, somewhat, they keep coming back and we keep pushing them. But today, we are carrying the second phase of the signature project of impound and crush immediately, so that we know for sure that we are not going to be having anything with this one again. The other ones who want to break the law, when they come in here, they will meet us waiting to ensure that the city is safe and conform to the transport master plan of the city.
The massive raids through Gusape, Durumi districts, Airport Road, Lugbe and Kubwa were supported by combined military and paramilitary squad. In Abuja, Asabe Williams, NTA News.
And from the Traditional Council, the Association of Wives of FCT Traditional Rulers says between 2021 and 2022, the association has treated 26 reported cases of violence against women in different communities. Project manager of the Association of Wife of Sapei, Hanato Unga, disclosed this at a press conference to kickstart the 16 days activism for the 2022 International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women in Abuja. Deborah Gazashi-Maika has that report.
In this part of the world, unwholesome offenses against women and girls such as domestic violence, discrimination, early child marriages are common practices, clamoring for reforms and renewed vigor among the different institutions to nip the issues in the pod. Association of Wives of FCT Traditional Rulers and the partners intensified sensitization on these issues, seeking decisive action within the traditional justice system to ensure justice on all reported cases of violence against women and girls in the FCT.
Because the cases, when we do, we cannot tackle the cases. We report to them, and immediately we report to them, in fact, they will take action on that, and we'll still get the justice.
Don't get tired of that. With advocacy, because that's the only way people will be enlightened. They will know their right from their right. They will know how to treat ladies with respect.
The association is partnering broad sustainable women economic development and peace (B3) to achieve its targets.
Advocacy has been on for a very long time, but the cases are increasing. This has to do with the deterioration of a lot of things in the system, in the community. It's not only, if you notice, it's not only gender-based violence that is on the increase. Total security in the society, there's a breakdown of security in the society.
The association says it is comparing data in the 17 chiefdoms in the FCT on reported cases of gender-based violence, which is increasingly alarming. Therefore, they advise women at the grassroots to speak out. Deborah Gazaji, NTA News.
Again, a coalition of non-governmental organizations in road safety advocacy with a vision to reduce crashes on the road is to partner the NTA to get major stakeholders to work towards the goal. Abdullahi Hajjar reports that this was the thrust of discussions when the General Manager NTA Channel 5 Abuja received the group on a custom visit on behalf of the DG NTA.
The number of road crashes and fatalities in Nigeria has continued unabated, even with concerted efforts of stakeholders like the Coalition of Road Safety NGOs in Nigeria. This concern is the driver for this visit and partnership with the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, where the leadership of COSAN says NTA is the preferred choice destination for an aggressive sensitization on the need for shared responsibility to end road carnages.
To see that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, has sent, his signature to the bill, the traffic bill. Already it has passed through the both chambers. The reason being that the rate of road crashes in the FCT continues to be on the increase. FCT is leading, maybe because of the road and the automatic cars. I cannot allow it to continue. We need proper regulations. We need proper law in place to reduce these crashes and save more lives on our road. NTA is the biggest and broadest network in Africa, most reliable, and there's no way NTA can be left out of, a scheme like this.
General Manager NTA Channel 5 Abuja, Paul Ade, who spoke on behalf of NTA DJ, reiterates NTA's commitment to partnering worthy causes such as these, as the NTA is already leading the campaign through its news and programs and is willing to do more.
We cannot just relent when it comes to road safety in Nigeria, because it's so alarming when you hear the numbers, the figures, year in, year out. So we need to really sensitize ourselves, and we don't have to relent, to tell people that your life is important like the other person's life. So if you drive well, if you safeguard yourself, you are safeguarding others.
The group used the occasion to congratulate the DG on his appointment as they look forward to a more synergy to safeguarding lives and property through proactive action to prevent crashes in the country, in line with the UN Decade of Action for Road Safety 2021 to 2030. In Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
Growing up in a big family, there weren't always enough seats at the table, so we started eating on the floor so that we could enjoy our food and cokes together, to remind us that the most important part of any meal is being together. Growing up in a big family, there weren't always enough seats at the table, so we started eating on the floor so that we could enjoy our food and cokes together, to remind us that the most important part of any meal is being together.
And on sport, the Nigerian Television Authority again emerged champions of the football competition of the FCT Sports Writers Association of Nigeria 2022. NTA defeated familiar rival New Agency of Nigeria 4-3 on penalties to defend their trophy. Francisca Bile reports.
The five-time champions NTA made it to the finals after defeating Voice of Nigeria 5-3 during the semi-finals with a penalty shootout. Meanwhile, News Agency of Nigeria qualified to the finals after defeating FRCN in the finals and had a 2-1 win. In view of this, NTA Sports manager Saidu Waziri expressed excitement over the team's victory.
We have a solid team, and then we maintain a particular game plan, and then it's actually working for us.
For NTA, as pace setters at the biggest television network in Africa, we have further demonstrated that outside broadcasting, even in sports, we rule.
If you look at the competition as a whole, you see a lot of improvement with the non-team.
Luck also play in sports. I'm happy that NTA won. I'm happy my members are happy, rejoicing.
Also, NTA long tennis defending champion Chukwuebuka Nwamboize retained his trophy after defeating Victor Okoye 6-4, 6-4 during the finals.
I want to applaud the authority, the management of NTA for the support.
At the end of the event, News Agency of Nigeria finished second, while Voice of Nigeria finished third. The event also featured presentation of awards to dignitaries including Media Director Mark Dibo Ogochi-Mark and Ejinike Donatus, among others. In Abuja, Francisca Bile, NTA News.
We must say congratulations to the NTA team, and that's how we conclude the English version of the news. Stay tuned for translations.
Magbaje we shaje wo na bi ku shapeda wa na ba shiba beda wo mo praises for yuba olo agwa na ba je gai eyikin tukoda ye Muhammadu Buhari wala apashi akin atukoda ye ba je kala ye nge enya nkoba mo yakin apashi da nyabwa okono nge ahu agbodogun atitin shi ba gbogbogbo bede no ba shin enyi abashigbe mba ji shiro mbwe ya da musambo wada nge obonu eyikin tukoda be da sanu wo bele sheba ngabi niami ekin lo njayin wagodo nge yiba hwi azokwe na eye dubushi ba cheshi ta akin apajinya eyan wa ko ba bo abigi salaga bi abada pe bada nge yitege ayaza bage mwa nkiye nge kwoshin ebanu koyun yiba shi apma nzaza he be pe ko ba be na bigi nkiye koyin bada tuko nu nsala ngabie be da sanu wo be gin nge sala busi ejoma winya na sala akin sala shi patagban sala ngabie ye kafil adam wa godu wenda nge shoko yi wona gasa na baya mu abaye tichini japa koi na bai ba bwa bigi be ko shoko yi wi ntu anyasa no koi da an pie bo ai bada gu shogun ya o pan pie ba pa ko be
anabaja jesida inga gwamnati gbadokun unko bai go ababuri intuge ababuri ti tafi ya gwamnati bagbatulon sanu gwamnati aga bagbatu batafilon bai la gwamnati la ababuri ya via gudu asabe wuli wa gudu wa ga ababuri ti ababuri lo inje taji gwa talo gwamnati bai goko ya we vi baya ba vi bagbatu gwamnati ya nkwa dai aga nga obunu ba gibe sanu gwamnati ba shi tin kwa ko nga ga sanu ko shan pale na baburi chani shi ago ba ko aya vi bagbatu ma gbaje ibe ja do ko na shi kwasi pa ga shi kwani shi so sai so.
Masu kallon mu barkanmu da bincika fasarar takaitattun labarai mai karantawa Isiyaku Buhari Suleja. Shugaban kasa Muhammadu Buhari ya ce kawo hanyoyin ci gaban tattalin arziki na iya samuwa ta fanni bude wajajen ayyukan hannu wanda za a kera don ci gaban kasashe. Wakilin fadar shugaban kasa ta fannin yada labarai Adamu Sambo ya ruwaito cewa shugaban kasan ya bayyana haka ne a kasar Liyami na jamhuriyar Nijar. A hudubar da aka gudanar a masallacin Juma'a na ƙasa, wakiliyarmu Hakimat Aliyu ta rawaito mana cewa limamin masallaci Imam Kabir Adam ya yi kira ga 'yan uwa musulmai game da cewa yawan al'umma a doron ƙasa kar ya zama damuwa, sai dai ya kasance ana aikata abin da addinin musulunci ya gindaya. Ya ƙara da cewa yawan al'umma abin alfahari ne ga addini. Da ƙarshe an yi wa ƙasa addu'ar ci gaba da kuma shugabanni. Kwamitin haɗin gwiwa na tsaftace babban birnin tarayya ta lalata mashinan 'yan kabu-kabu wadda aka kama da rashin bin ka'ida a hanyar babban birnin tarayya. Wakiliyar Asabe Williams ta rawaito mana cewa sama da ababen hawa 300 ne aka kama da laifin bin dokokin hanyar, shi yasa aka ɗauki matakin yin haka domin ci gaba da yaƙi da marasa bin dokan da kuma kaucewa aikata laifuka marasa kyau a babban birnin. Jama'a, ƙarshen fasarar takaitattun labarai kenan, mu kwana lafiya.
N'akụkọ ụwa nke taa, aha m bụ Rachel Ifi Ono. Onyeisi ala anyị Muhammadu Buhari ekwuola na nchigharị a na-eme na ihe banyere akụnụba naanị na mba Afrịka agaghị abụ naanị ihe ga-egbochi uto ọganihu mba, kama na ọ ga-abụ ezigbo nsogbu nye akụnụba ha. Onye ala anyị Adamu Sambo wetara akụkọ na onyeisi ala anyị kwupụtara nke a na Niamey, Niger Republic mgbe ha mere nzukọ bụ nke o jiri kwuo maka akụnụba mba Afrịka. Mmụba nke ndị mmadụ n'ala anyị ekwesịghị ịbụ ihe a ga-ahụta dịka nsogbu, kama ekwesịrị ịhụ ya dịka nke ga-ejikọta ihe niile mepụtara ọnụ ma were ya mere ihe n'ụzọ bara uru. Hakimat Aliyu wetara akụkọ na nke a pụtara ihe site n'ọnụ onye imam nke ndị okpukperechi Islam nọ na National Mosque Kabir Adam. Ya bụ imam jikwazi ya bụ ohere chetara ha nkwa ala kwere Adam na Eve bụ nne na nna mbụ anyị na ha ga-amụ ọmụmụ baa ụba ma jupụtakwa ụwa, bụ nke o jiri mee ka ha mata na mmụba n'ọnụọgụgụ bara ezigbo uru. Ọtụtụ ndị ọgbatumtum anọrọla n'anya mmiri dịka gọọmenti isi ala anyị mebiri ihe karịrị ọgbatumtum 300 n'ihi ịda iwu usoro okporo ụzọ. Asabe Williams wetara akụkọ na nke a bụ iji gbochie ịda iwu ma kwụsịkwa izu ori na isi ala anyị, ebe onye isi na ihe banyere ime njem n'isi ala anyị Abdullahi Adam Kandido kwuru na gọọmenti isi ala anyị agaghị ezu ike ruo mgbe ha ga-ekpochapụ ndị ọgbatumtum niile na-ada iwu okporo ụzọ. Igbo bụ Igbo, ọgwụla ka ọha anyị n'ọnụ. Ndewo.
Ròyìn iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìkànnì Kánò ti ìlú Àbújá ló ń dé sí etí ìgbọ̀nyín. Mo Bọ́lájí Mátì ní oníròyìn. Ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari sọ wípé àgbékalẹ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá àti àyípadà ètò okòwò ní ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ ṣe pàtàkì púpọ̀ láti túbọ̀ gbájúmọ́ àwọn ohun tí Ọlọ́run bá fi ta wá lọ́rẹ fún ìdàgbàsókè ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Adamu Sambo ròyìn wípé ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari gbé ọ̀rọ̀ náà kalẹ̀ lásìkò tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ níbi ìjókòó àwọn aṣíwájú ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ èyí tó wáyé ní olú ìlú orílẹ̀-èdè Niger, Niamey. Ká má rí bí àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè ṣe ń pọ̀ sí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣòro, ṣùgbọ́n ká rí wípé àǹfààní ńlá ló jẹ́ láti fi mọ ẹ̀bùn àti àǹfààní ọ̀pọ̀ ènìyàn. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Akínmọ́tò Aliyu ròyìn wípé èyí ni kókó ọ̀rọ̀ nínú wàásù Jímọ̀ tòní láti ẹnu lèmọ́mù mọ́ṣáláṣí ńlá ti ìlú Àbújá Kabir Adam tó tọ́ka sí ẹsẹ̀ Al-Qur'an pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run ọba lórí ọ̀pọ̀ ènìyàn. Omijé lójú ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn tó fi kẹ̀kẹ́ alùpùpù ń kóró àwọn tí a mọ̀ sí ọlọ́kadà bí katakata ṣe ń lọ kẹ̀kẹ́ alùpùpù wọn mọ́lẹ̀. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Àsàbẹ̀ William ròyìn wípé àwọn alùpùpù ọ̀hún tí àjọ tó ń ṣe àbẹ̀wò ọkọ̀ lójú pópó gbà lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọlọ́kadà látàrí wípé wọ́n lòdì sí òfin àti àwọn tí ó kọ etí ikún sí àṣẹ ọba. Ó lé lọ́ọ̀ọ́dúnrún alùpùpù tí katakata lọ̀ mọ́lẹ̀. Ètò náà yóò máa tẹ̀síwájú láti má fi àyè gbàgbà ní ìlú Àbújá gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn alákòóso ètò ọ̀hún ti sọ. Tó a ò rí jù báyìí lọ́sẹ̀ yìí títí ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ ní àṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ojúmọ́ ire ni yóò mọ́ wa.